Well, summer has been marked, as you know, by extreme weather around the globe, with some areas breaking records with unrelenting heat and deadly flooding. This morning, we continue our focus on regenerative agriculture as a climate solution. Our Sarah Pila joins us now with more on how we can look to our past to help our future. Good morning.
Good morning, Giselle. That's right. And my trip to the Tomcat Ranch in Northern California explains how regenerative agriculture is all about farming and ranching in harmony with nature. But the concept isn't new. Its roots lie with indigenous communities who have used practices that harness the power of nature for centuries. And Tomcat Ranch is looking to them for the answers. Teaching the art of basket weaving is an important form of cultural revitalization for Ramaytush Indigenous elder Kata Gomes.
I'm going to start wrapping towards the end.
She's the founder of the Muchiate Indigenous Land Trust, an organization committed to Indigenous stewardship and returning land to the Ramaytush people. She says this bi-monthly basket circle is a way of fighting the erasure of Native culture in the U.S.
One of our goals is just to bring awareness to the community at large that we are still here. We do exist, and we have a traditional culture that is really beneficial to the needs of our current world.
She's teaching this workshop at Tomcat Ranch, a science learning lab that's on a mission to change our food system using regenerative agriculture. But it's not a new concept. It's deeply traditional to Native Americans. For Tomcat Ranch founder Kat Taylor, it's necessary to include and empower Indigenous communities in their work.
They were keenly aware that they needed to work in concert with nature. So first and foremost, recognizing and respecting the traditional foodways that went before us.
Including all communities in the food system is an important piece of the ranch's purpose. In addition to Kata, Kat partners with Bryant Terry, a chef whose work is dedicated to food justice.
We saw cooking and learning about agriculture as a powerful pathway into the politics of food.
In 2021, Tomcat Ranch hosted Chef Terry's Black Food Summit, an event bringing people together to eat food inspired by the Black diaspora and holding conversations around health and agriculture.
Our missions are aligned. You know, I certainly understand the importance of this regenerative agriculture framework and lens through which we should be thinking about addressing things like biodiversity and repairing our soil and addressing climate.
Kata's mission is also aligned here at Tomcat Ranch, as Indigenous communities have long understood the interconnectedness of humans and the earth. With the effects of climate change happening now, she says their ancestral knowledge is valuable in today's society.
Our survival depends on it. We can't do it with the mode of operation that's been happening.
And her vision for the future means having a voice and a seat at the table and moving forward together. Now, Kat Taylor explained to me that they are not inventing regenerative ag, they are just rediscovering it, and they can't make major changes in our food system without including all communities that have largely been kept out of the agricultural conversation.
And who know so much more about it than so many, the Indigenous.
Yes.
It's their history, it's their culture. How else is she trying to revitalize her culture?
Well, you know, I was really struck because she had mentioned how Indigenous people feel so severed from their culture due to how they were treated by the mission system, as well as during statehood. So revitalizing the culture is vital. And one of the major ways is learning their Indigenous Ramaytush language. Now, she enrolled in Berkeley's Indigenous language program called Breath of Life, and they're working with linguists, Giselle, to really revitalize the language. Students just in a few months have been able to now write poems and write songs in this Indigenous language that had largely not been spoken by many Native folks for over 100 years. And then, of course, another part is the Muchiate Land Trust, and that is getting land back to the ancestral landowners who were there of the San Francisco Peninsula, as well as, of course, always fighting the threat of development and getting stewardship back to Indigenous communities.
And it's so impressive that Kat Taylor and Tomcat Ranch actually focuses not just on the ag part, but the historical part and the wisdom of the elders to keep it going. Share some of the ideas that the chef also has to make sure everyone has access to healthy food.
Yeah, so he has been very, very inspired by food justice for all communities. And he says we need to think creatively about feeding our communities. So that means looking outside of our conventional supermarkets, supporting, urban farms, community gardens, food co-ops. There are collectives out there like that. So supporting local farmers and independent businesses, because every dollar you spend is a vote for the type of food system that you want to have. And so that also injects the dollars into our local businesses, and it provides healthy, nutritious foods for all communities.
And for our children in schools. The Kat Taylor Project also does that. I mean, it's just so encompassing. It's incredible. And your reporting all week has been encompassing. There's just one more tomorrow, right?
There is, and you mentioned a little bit about the schools, so we'll show you exactly what Kat Taylor's vision is for getting this into big institutions.
Just teed you right up there, Sarah Pila. Can't get enough of her. We'll be right back.